Hey everybody, I'm Evan Hammonds for bloodhorse.com and welcome to After the Wire, which is brought to you by EquiAid, the makers of Bodybuilder and other fine natural products. In this week's segment, we look at Saratoga's primetime Whitney Stakes and the West Virginia Derby at Mountaineer. One of the better groups of older males this year came together at the Spa for the Whitney, with recent Stephen Foster handicap winner and last year's Breeders' Cup Classic winner, Fort Larned, doing the heavy lifting as the 6-5 favorite. Fort Larned is a very good horse, but I thought 6-5 was a little tough to take, considering he has been somewhat inconsistent, and he shines best on a speed favoring track. At Saratoga, it was fast and fair. Cross Traffic got the break, and from the very beginning, jockey Brian Hernandez seemed to be pressing ever so slightly on Fort Larned to keep step with the Big Gray. The leader, meanwhile, was moving effortlessly, with John Velasquez nearly standing up on the Son of Unbridled Song through very easy opening splits of 24 and 23 flat. With Macho Man on the muscle early, those three had a commanding advantage, as it was 5 lengths back to Casaba and further back to Ron the Greek and Successful Dan. They were nearly 10 lengths back. It looked pretty grim for those two at that point. Now the turning point came, when Cross Traffic threw down a 22-4 third quarter, as neither Fort Larned or Macho Man were able to hang with him. Cross Traffic opened up in the lane, and from the back of the pack emerged Ron the Greek up the inside. He would loom a threat for a bit, but the rail didn't look like it was the place to be, and it looked as if he hit the wall at the 8th pole. Now from the outside came Successful Dan and Julian Leparoux, but boy, did they have a lot of ground to make up. Cross Traffic was one tired pup as he drifted out and faded back, drifted out again. He actually crossed paths in front of Macho Man, but was able to hold on despite a 13 flat final 8th. Now for a horse just making his 5th career start, it was a very professional effort. Also, Successful Dan's late run merits taking a long look at him in his next start, and Ron the Greek might improve with a kinder surface. As much as I hate to say it, perhaps Macho Man just isn't a grade 1 horse, at least not in New York. As for Fort Larned, perhaps it wasn't his day, or he didn't get the surface he needed. Congratulations to Goldmark, Cross Traffic's owners, and the boys at TaylorMade Farm. They lost Unbridled Song recently, and this was a nice boost for them, as they sold the colt as well 2 years ago at Saratoga. And trainer Todd Pletcher and John Velasquez, well, can't say much except they're the best in the business these days. The West Virginia Derby went off at nearly the same time as the Whitney. I'll put the onus squarely on Mountaineer here. They have their signature race, and they have the same post time as the Whitney. If you want some national exposure, couldn't you wait 10 or 15 minutes? Please, people. It's just ridiculous. It's about as ridiculous as the ease in which Departing took the $750,000 race against an overmatched field. Now with last week's $600,000 Jim Dandy and the $1 million William Hill Haskell Stakes, there's only so many 3-year-olds on the East Coast to go around. Claiborne Farm and Adele Dilschneider's Departing, not seen since finishing mid-pack in the Preakness, was in no hurry early, but Calvin Burrell and Ruler of Love were as they shot to the front. Now the field really spread out around the turn, but then, as Calvin slowed the pace down, the field bunched up like a pile on the Jersey Turnpike. Robbie Alvarado took Departing to the outside as they eased their way to the lead. From there, it was a boat race as Departing separated himself from the pack and won geared down in the final 1/8 of a mile. It's another big win for Claiborne Stallion Warfront and the team that brought us blame back in 2010. Trainer Al Stahl Jr. is not sure Departing is ready for the big time this year and will point him towards either the Pennsylvania, Indiana, or Super Derby. It doesn't really matter, as all of them offer a ton of loot. I'm Evan Hammonds for bloodhorse.com. I'd like to thank you for watching After the Wire.